Today we're answering the question at hand, how to create wealth investing in real estate. By the end of this video, you'll learn a faster and more effective strategy for building real estate wealth beyond just buying and holding individual properties. The 3 key power moves that successful real estate investors use to grow their wealth systematically, and how to safely use leverage and equity to expand your real estate portfolio without needing to save up large down payments every time. You've probably heard all the basic advice: save for a down payment, buy a house, rent it out, and wait for its value to go up. But what nobody's telling you is that's the slow road to wealth. I'm going to show you a faster path, one that actually works. And after years in this business, I've discovered that most people are leaving money on the table, and a lot of it. Not because they're doing anything wrong, but no one's shown them how the big players really build wealth in real estate. Here's the thing, buying one property and hoping it goes up in value isn't a strategy. It's a wish, it's a hope. But don't worry if that's what you've been doing. I started the same way. Look, what changed everything for me was understanding that real estate wealth isn't about collecting properties. It's about building a system that grows your wealth automatically. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-smart scheme. It's proven. It's a proven strategy that's helped me build a successful multifamily property portfolio, and it can work for you too. What makes successful real estate investors different is they don't just buy properties, they build wealth machines. Think about it. Most people will buy one property and wait years to buy another. But what if you could make each property help you buy the next one? I'll say that again. What if you could make each property help you buy the next one? That's what smart investors do, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So let's talk about what I call the 3 power moves of real estate investing. These aren't complicated strategies, they're simple principles that work together to build serious wealth. The first power move is cash flow mastery. This isn't just about collecting rent, it's about making sure each dollar your property earns works as hard as possible. Where most landlords collect $1,000 in rent, hey, they're happy. But smart investors know how to turn that $1,000 into $1,200 or more without raising rents. Well, what do I mean? I'm talking about smart property improvements, better management, and cutting unnecessary costs. Here's a simple example. Adding a washer and dryer to your units might cost $1,000 per unit, but it could add $50 a month to your rental income and cut your vacancy rates. That's not just a good return, it's smart business, and it makes your tenants happier as well. Now, the second power move is what I call equity building. Each month your tenants pay your mortgage. That means you're building your wealth. But where most people miss out is that they let that wealth just sit there, sit still. Smart investors know how to put that equity to work. Think about it this way. If you're a property owner and it's worth maybe $200,000 and you've built up $50,000 in equity, that's $50,000 just sitting there, sitting still, doing nothing. Wouldn't you rather that money go to work, buying more properties? There's a right way and a wrong way to do this, and I'm going to show you the right way. The third power is smart growth. This is where everything comes together. People think you need tons of cash to grow your real estate portfolio. That's not true either. You need a strategy. And when you understand how to use the bank's money safely and smartly, you can control much more real estate than you could ever imagine. So let's break down exactly how this works in real numbers. When you buy a $200,000 property, you might put $40,000 down. But here's the key, you're earning returns on the full $200,000 of property, not just on your $40,000. That's the power of smart leverage. Now, I know what you're thinking, isn't debt dangerous? And you'd be right to ask that question. Consumer debt, like credit cards, car loans, well, yeah, that's dangerous. But the real estate debt, well, it's different. When used correctly, it's not just safe, it's one of the most powerful wealth building tools available. The key is knowing how to use it safely and smartly. And here's what makes real estate different. Your tenants pay the mortgage, remember? They pay the taxes. They pay the insurance. And if you do that right, they pay for all the maintenance as well. Meanwhile, you're building equity in 3 ways at once. The mortgage gets paid down every month. The property usually goes up in value over time. And with smart improvements, you can make the property worth even more. Now, once you have some equity built up, you got some options. So let's say you've built up $50,000 in equity in your first property. Many lenders will allow you to take out a portion of that equity, maybe $40,000. We're just using easy numbers. Now you have a choice. You could spend that money on a new car. Bad idea. Or you could use it as a down payment for your next property. A smart move. This is where most people get scared. They think about equity as risky, right? Taking it out is unproven. And it can be if you do it wrong, but there's a safe way to do this. The key is having the right numbers. Your properties should always bring in enough rent to cover the original mortgage, the equity loan payment, all expenses, and some extra cash flow for safety. So when you do it right, you're not really taking on any more risk. You're just putting your equity to work instead of letting it sit idle. This is how you can grow from 1 property to 2, from 4 to 8, without needing to save up new down payments every time. Now let's talk about something that can make or break your real estate success: picking the right markets. A lot of people think you need to invest where you live. That's not always true. You need to invest where the numbers make sense. I've learned this lesson early. The worst deal you can ever make is buying in your hometown just because it's convenient. The best deals, however, are made based on solid research and real numbers. Here's what really matters when picking a market. You want to see 3 main things, and write these down. People are moving there, jobs are growing there, the city welcomes landlords. Okay, now let me break it down. When people are moving to a city, that means more potential tenants. When jobs are growing, those tenants can pay their rent. And when a city is a landlord-friendly environment, you won't face endless regulations that can eat into your profits. But here's the key: you need actual numbers, not just gut feelings. When I look at a market, I want to see population growth of at least 1% per year. That might not sound like much, but it means 10,000 new people in a city of 1 million every single year. Now for jobs, I look at 2 things: how many new jobs are being created and what kinds of jobs they are. A city with lots of different types of employers is safer than one where everybody works for the same company. Think about what happens if that one big employer leaves town. Yeah, you got it. Now about being a landlord-friendly environment, this matters more than most people realize. Some cities make it nearly impossible to evict non-paying tenants. Others have rent control that limits your income, while others pile on so many regulations that your profits just simply disappear. Poof, they're gone. You want cities that understand landlords, provide valuable housing, and treat them fairly. However, something even more important is that you need to understand that rent to price ratios. I'll say that again. You need to understand rent to price ratios. This is simple math that many investors ignore. Take the monthly rent a property can bring in and divide it by the property's price. Multiply by 100 and you get a percentage. Now, for example, if a $200,000 property rents for $2,000 a month, that's a 1% rent to price ratio. Anything above 0.8% in most markets can work well if the other numbers line up. Below that, you'll struggle to make cash flow. Everything we've discussed so far works with single-family homes, but when you apply these principles to multifamily properties, your results can multiply much faster. As your portfolio grows, you'll start to see that bigger properties, especially multifamily buildings, allow you to do all this and do it more efficiently. Instead of managing 10 single-family homes spread across town, you could own 1 building with 10 units. Same number of units, but much easier to manage. You get it? This is why many successful investors eventually move into multifamily properties. They're not just bigger, they're more efficient. Think about 1 roof, 1 lawn to maintain, 1 location to visit, but multiple units bringing in rent. Now let me be clear, this isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about building wealth systematically and safely. Every successful real estate investor I know follows these principles. The only difference is whether they learned them early or they had to figure them out the hard way. You pay for your mistakes one way or another. But multifamily properties can be powerful wealth builders because first they allow you to deal with multiple rent checks under 1 roof. Instead of collecting $1,500 from 1 house, you might be collecting $1,500 from each of the 10 units. That's more cash flow, more equity building, and more opportunity for growth. But it gets better. With multifamily properties, you can often improve the whole building's value with single projects. Think about it. When you upgrade the exterior or add a new security system to a 10-unit building, you're improving the value of 10 units at the same time. Try doing that with 10 separate houses. Here's another advantage. Lenders often see multifamily properties as safer investments. Why? Because if 1 tenant moves out of a single-family home, what have you lost? Yeah, 100% of the property's income. But if a tenant moves out of your 10-unit building, you've only lost 10% of the income. This stability makes lenders happy, which often means better loan terms. Now I know what you're thinking, multifamily properties must be much harder to buy. Yeah, the purchase price is bigger, but remember what we talked about earlier. It's not about how much money you start with, it's about your strategy. Let me show you how many successful investors make the transition to multifamily. They start with a single home or a small multifamily around 2 to 4 units. They apply the principles we discussed, maximizing cash flow, building equity, and using that equity wisely. Then instead of buying more single-family homes, they save and plan for their first larger multifamily property. This is where everything we've talked about comes together. The cash flow from your earlier properties helps you qualify for the larger loan you'll need. The equity you've built can help with that down payment, and all the market research skills you've developed help you find the right location for your multifamily property. Here's something crucial to understand about multifamilies. The skills are the same, but the rewards can be bigger. I'll say that again. The skills are the same, but the rewards can be bigger. You're still looking for ways to increase income and decrease expenses. You're still building equity. You're still using leverage wisely, but now you're doing it on a larger scale. Let me be clear about something. Bigger properties don't automatically mean bigger profits. You need to understand how to operate them efficiently. This means learning about professional property management, maintenance systems, tenant screening at scale, building improvements that add real value, smart financing options for larger properties. But here's the good news. These skills are all learnable. I started exactly where many of you are now. Single-family homes taught me the basics. Small multifamily properties helped me understand scaling, and each step prepared me for the next level. The key is to start where you can, but always keep the big picture in mind. By the way, and start. Every property you buy should move. Then move up to a 4-plex, then an 8-unit, and so on. And each step builds your experience and your equity for the next move. Remember, real estate investing isn't about getting rich quick. It's about building lasting wealth strategies through smart decisions and proven processes. The principles remain the same whether you're starting with a single-family home or ready to invest in multifamily properties. The only question is, when are you going to take your first step? When are you going to get in the game? When are you going to get off the sidelines? So that's it for today. If you got some value out of the video, be sure to like and subscribe and click the bell to get notified when I post new videos. I'll see you in the next video, and you can access it right here.